Hey everybody, today we're going to be assembling a pantry cabinet today. We're going to be doing a wall pantry. It's the WP, 18 inches wide, 84 inches tall, 24 inches deep. So that's what the part number is for us. This is a white shaker pantry cabinet. Tools that I would recommend that you have, a drill or impact drill with a Phillips bit. Sometimes you may need a hammer. Hand Phillips in case you need to do something by hand, and some people would like to use the extension. So those are the tools that you would need to do this. So let's get to unboxing. As you can see, we're on an elevated work surface again. This is what we call an RTA, ready to assemble cabinet. It'll come flat in this box. I like to leave the cardboard down. It protects the cabinet as we assemble. And then we'll unwrap. I'm going to go through and double check all the pieces. These are shelf pieces. They have a finished front on them, so you'll get quite a few of those. Make sure that you have your screw packages inside this box. You'll get two packages. One is going to be your brackets, the other is going to be clips and miscellaneous screws. Toe kick, bottom shelf to your cabinet. You got our back panel. Our front. On this model, on the 18-inch model, it's a single door. The 24-inch model has a double door. So it's only single door wide. Now we're to our side panels. This cabinet is pretty tricky to put together with one person. So I do recommend two people when assembling this cabinet. But today, we're going to do it with one person. One of the things I like to do is open the cardboard backer on this and use this little plastic clamshell as our little screw holder so that we can stay organized. The easiest, most painless part of assembly is trying to stay organized. If you can stay organized, it'll make the whole project go easier. I like to take the screws and just dump them inside there and keep everything nice and neat. Right. So we're going to start with the back panel on this. I'm going to get rid of some of this cardboard. Okay. Side panel. It doesn't matter which side you start with. This is going to be our right side of the cabinet. Next we're going to grab our left side. We're going to grab our back, which is over here. So the back panel has a top and a bottom. And you want to figure that out early on, because otherwise it makes life a little harder later on. So on the back panel, there's going to be some pre-drilled holes that come from the factory. There's some on the bottom, top, and middle. You want to make sure that these middle ones here and the top ones here and the bottom ones here line up with the fixed shelves that go in the cabinets, because you'll end up screwing through the back into these fixed shelves. So First, you want to test fit everything, make sure it's snapping together correctly. Alright, it's looking good so far. Next, you want to grab your drill and your brackets. And the first one you want to put is going to be down here on the bottom, right below the bottom shelf. And a magnetic tip is the best way to install these screws. Makes them not fall over. The same time that we put this bracket in, I made sure that we were flush on the bottom here, and that our screw holes from the back visually look like they're going to line up with each one of our shelves. Now we're going to double check our work on the top, make sure that we're all the way into the groove that they made at the factory. This other bracket is going to go to the top side in this little area here of the cabinet. This cabinet should take about a half hour to assemble. This is one of your last cabinets to assemble. You'll probably get the hang of it, and this will be more like a 20-minute cabinet, give or take. So now that we got our two brackets on, now we're going to look at rotating this to put our other brackets and our other panel on. So now I'm going to roll it onto its side. I'm going to grab our other side panel here and get this situated so we can assemble this. I'm going to rotate this stuff so you can see it on the inside a little bit better. You're just going to do the same thing that we just did on the last one. And underneath this is a 4x8 sheet of plywood. It's a giant space, especially when you're talking about a cabinet this large. It makes your life a lot easier to have a giant elevated space. So now we're just going to pop this together. This one's a little bit harder than the first one because you use gravity on the first one. And this one, you have to fumble it together a little bit, especially when you're working by yourself. It's not like this is difficult, it's just large. It makes it a little harder to do by yourself. Make sure that you're flush on the bottom. You line your bracket up so it goes below the shelf. Make sure you take your time and get it exactly where you want it. So you're not putting a bunch of extra holes in your cabinet. I'm sure these four screws are off to the top. Together up here. Still need to pop together the middle, but we can do that in a second. So remember, this bracket goes above the groove for the fixed shelf. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our fixed shelves. There we go. Our fixed shelves are the ones that do not have a finished edge on them. They're going to look similar to this. It's finished, but I always double check to see which side you're going to see. You always want to make sure that if there's a slightly defect in the wood, you may put it in an inconspicuous place. So there's our first one. Second shelf. And our third shelf. Next, what we're going to be doing is putting our front on. Front. Big old front here. And we'll line up with these same grooves. Make grooves in it to interlock these drawers or the fixed panels in the middle. And you just gotta take the time to align it all. And this is where another set of hands helps click it together a little faster, a little easier. Together. There, and then put this one together here. Alright. Now we got this mostly placed together. We can fine tune it snapping together. It's fully supported now, and that wants to click together. Perfect. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our brackets again. We're going to repeat the process. It's going to go below the bottom shelf here. And then it goes on the top, above the shelf at the top there. Alright, next what we want to do is we want to get our other bag out here. I like to put all my clips and screws back in my clamshell that we used earlier. These are 3M for your doors so that they don't bang together. Then you got a bunch of adjustable plastic clips in here. I like to put all those items back in the plastic bag like so, because we're not going to need those until the end. So now we have a bunch of these gold brackets here. If you've put any of our cabinets together or seen any of our other videos, this is standard stuff. This model comes with quite a few of those. And then you also come with some longer screws. These are about 1 inch, 1.25 inches. And then these are 1/2 inch screws for the gold brackets. These longer screws are for the back panel. Those screws, pre-drilled holes that I showed you earlier. Those longer screws will go in those locations to hold the shelves to the cabinet. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this away from us. So we're going to work on putting these screws in the back here, which is our longer screws. That's going to help stiffen up this cabinet. So you want to dig those out. You should have 6 of them. I like to start at one end, work to the middle. You're just going to fulfill those pre-drilled holes that they made at the factory. What this is going to do is help lock the back panel. To the sides. Now all we got left is a bunch of these gold ones. We're gonna grab our toe kick next. And it comes with 2 pre-drilled holes in it also that will line up with the gold bracket here. So it'll go on the toe over here and get screwed on like so. So we'll pre-install these brackets on here using pre-drilled holes. Now we have our brackets pre-installed. We're going to grab 2 of these screws. We're just going to go install this on our toe kick. Or I have my gold bracket I want to put in. I'll show you why. Makes life a little easier. Put this gold bracket in. Or so right here on the front, you want to put a gold bracket right here. If you install this toe kick and get ahead of yourself like I almost did, it makes it really difficult to put that gold bracket in there. You can do it, but it's usually easier to take everything off. And this goes roughly in the middle. You go 2 screws to the bottom of the cabinet and 1 screw through your face. Now, when we go put this toe kick in, the screw that would have been tough to do is already installed. Now I need 2 more screws. You want to flush it up on the bottom. It's a hair shorter than the actual kick out. That makes it a little more adjustable. Alright, so toe kick's on, 1 gold plate is on. Now we got a bunch more to do. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 11 to do. So the next one we want to do is going to be on the other side on the bottom here. It's going to be on the back. Across from where we put that one on the front. Next, all these go on the inside of the cabinet. I'm going to flip it back onto the back. The back of the cabinet. And spin it around here. Alright, we got 2 more brackets we're going to install on the top. One on the face. And one on the back panel. Okay, now that we got those ones installed, what I'm going to recommend that we do next is actually take these cabinet doors off. You usually got to take them off to remove the plastic anyways. So just take I always recommend taking the screws out of the hinge that goes into the door. Those are pre-notched out, and it makes it so that you can line it back up easily. So now we took that door off. Alright, now we got all that off. What we're going to do is we're going to stand this cabinet up, and then we'll be able to manipulate the cabinet together how we want and put our brackets in. So I'll be doing that now. So next we're going to be working on putting some gold brackets in here. The screw orientation doesn't matter. I just like to keep it consistent. So I'll probably do 2 through the sides and 1 into the back. Something like so. You want to make sure that you see where your shelves are, which is pre-drilled inside this cabinet. You don't want to be putting your brackets where the shelf goes. So we're going to go right above it. This could be a little difficult to see. But at the same time as I'm putting this bracket in, I'm holding this back corner together so it's nice and tight. Because if you don't squeeze it together, then that corner's not going to be tight, and then you're going to have gappage and whatnot. So now we're going to go to this side, and I'll do the same. So now we got our top brackets done. We have quite a few brackets to do in the bottom section. So down on the bottom section we have 6 brackets here. A couple go on the face, a couple go on the back, and so the first one I'm going to do is right here on the face. About midway in door, you want the 1 screw through the front and 2 through the side. And every time you install a bracket, make sure you're squeezing the face and the sides together so you don't have any gappage. Alright, so 2 brackets on the front. Now we're going to go to the back and put them roughly in line with them on the back there. Once again, hold this all together. Make sure it's nice tight. And go across and do one roughly in the same spot. See how we got a little bit of daylight here. I want to make sure that the cabinet pops back together. As I was pushing on it, I pushed it back apart until we get this bracket on here. Alright. That looks good. Alright, 1 more screw there. Alright, back bracket's done. 2 brackets left. I recommend putting 1 on the face here and 1 screw through the front, 2 through the shelf. I'm going to go straight to the back, do the same rough location. As we did. Alright, next we're going to do is we're going to put our cabinet doors back on. And if you buy something from us, that's Amy. She will be selling stuff to you. Okay, let's put these cabinet doors back on. Alright, so we're just going to line them back up with the hinges. push them right back in. Carefully open the door. These are the screws that we left inside the cabinet just a few minutes ago. Now we're going to grab our top one. And if you wanted to leave the plastic on, I would probably recommend that until you are completed with your install. It just helps protect the fronts of the cabinets a little bit as you're moving them around and installing them. You can always take the doors back off when you're drilling your handles or whatnot. And these doors have a lot of micro adjustments in the hinges here. So once you install your cabinets and you let them set for a few days, I would go and adjust them at that point. Don't adjust your cabinets right when you first install your doors. They're going to settle, they're going to acclimate, things like that. So you'll want to wait a few days to do your adjustments. So now that we got the doors on, cabinets put together, you have your clips that will go inside of here. 4 clips to a shelf. There's 2 holes for each shelf. The bottom, there's a lot of different movements for your shelves. You have 4 shelves. Obviously you don't have to use them all. And then the last thing that we're going to do is put on our little door stoppers with the 3M on the back of it. That's going to make it so when they soft close, you don't even hear them. So there you go. So that was our wall pantry, 18, 84, 24. So it's 18 inches wide, 84 inches tall, 24 inches deep. We also have a 24-inch wide model of the same thing. So we just built that in about 30 minutes by one person. If you have a couple people, you could probably speed that up a little bit. So stay tuned for other videos here on YouTube on how to do RTA cabinets. We sell all these in white and gray shaker here at Kitsap Mobile Home Outfitters. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below on what we could do better in our videos or what other videos you'd like to see. So stay tuned for other RTA videos. We're going to build all the cabinets, so they're a how-to video on all cabinet assembly. So thanks for watching and have a great day.